Hello gold farmers, welcome to another Gold Nuts farming video. And today we'll be going over my gold recap for the week. Unfortunately this week I didn't really make a whole lot of gold because I was out enjoying the Nibbles Garden. Although I did make about 5 to 6k off of just my shuffles, the few dusts that I've been able to get here and there off of just disenchanting some greens. I made about 1k off of yesterday's video and just other shuffles that I have done in the previous weeks. So today I am going to go over you guys with what I actually make the most gold off of. There's several different methods of making gold. The most famous one is the transmog farming method, which I don't particularly enjoy. This is just because the two servers that I played on, one of them is extremely dead. So any kind of transmog that you try to sell, it won't sell, or you can't really get your gold's worth off of it. Items such as the battered hilt would probably sell for about, I'd have to say about 10k on that server, which is extremely terrible considering I can get about 50k off of it on this server. And on a high populated server it's really hard to sell the transmog as well because you've got a lot of competition. There's a lot of other people posting the same greens as you are, and it can just be challenging. So I'm not too fond of that method. Another method is dungeon farming, which it follows the same method as the transmog farm. It's just instead of going out and farming locations such as this one for greens, you just run dungeons and hope for some good drops. Another one is your pet farms, which is just farming for world drop pets and all of that for your chances of getting a pet to drop to sell for a pretty good sum of gold. You've got your material farms, which I am very fond of because that is where I make most of my gold. But my best gold making method would come from the shuffles. Yesterday I had uploaded a video sharing with you guys that it is about my best gold making method, and it really is. I've made thousands of gold off of using that method. I make a ton of gold off of farming locations like this. Instead of trying to sell the transmog, I'll just disenchant it. And I know a lot of people would vendor the transmog items that don't really sell for a lot, but I would much rather just go ahead and disenchant it. You should be able to get about 3 times the vendor value for disenchanting most of the greens. So it's a lot more worth it to just go ahead and disenchant any kind of green. If you are having problems with selling some of them, say you've posted a green on the auction house for at least 10, maybe 20 times and it's just not selling, and it's not really a high-end green, you are better off just going ahead and disenchanting it and getting the gold from it that way. So shuffles are my primary source of making gold. I love to try and find any kind of shuffle from any kind of transmog farm I do, or even shell. I've got a really good shuffle lined up for Zool Grub, and actually I'll go ahead and go over with you guys a little bit more about some of my best locations using this method. I'm not going to go over all of them quite yet. I will go over them in a later video, but for now. So one of them is actually the bombardment. I wasn't really expecting that location to yield me as much gold as it had, but I've farmed it for maybe 4 hours, and I've got probably 100k worth of materials, and this is just materials. This isn't transmog or recipes that I have gotten. I've got about 100k worth of materials sitting in my guild bank. I've got about another 50k off of recipes and stuff sitting on my alt as well, and I've got a couple transmog items that I am trying to sell. One of them is a epic shield. I don't remember the exact name of it. It sells for about 8k, so that's pretty nice, and there's a lot of stuff that I can do to make that amount of gold go up to about 300 to 400k, and a lot of it is still just with selling materials, though it's materials that not many people really enjoy crafting or don't necessarily have the raw materials on them to craft, and they don't really want to get out and farm for those raw materials either. So that is where I make most of my gold, from the bombardment. One of my favorite is the Zulgrub shuffle. That one makes, I believe, around, it was 100k before 100k farms were really much of a thing, so should be able to yield you around 150k to 200k an hour now with the shuffle, which is really nice. I haven't really done that shuffle for a while just because I did get burnt out on it. The kerosene shuffle is another one of my favorite ones, and then the lazy shuffle is also another one of my favorite ones. If you want to check out more of my shuffles, I do have them in a playlist. I don't know if I have all of them all organized out yet, but I do hope to get to that soon. Maybe you will find a shuffle that works for you. For Kloss, I really enjoy the Mage Beef shuffle. It's a really good gold making method. And now with the 7.3.5 update and at how the dusts have changed for vanilla content, you should actually be able to make a bit more gold off of those types of shuffles, just because there are a lot of people who still use the rich illusion dust and all of that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't exactly know why dusts are selling for as much as they are and as quick as they are, other than you've got your twink characters, you've got people who are leveling and want to progress a bit quicker, and they want to kill enemies quicker and stuff like that, and you've got, it's just, enchantments are always going to be a big deal in World of Warcraft, so it's always a good method to make, just like how collectors, any kind of collectible is a good gold making method, because you'll always have people looking for those collectibles. I do believe that will be all for this guide. I do hope to make a bit more next week. I do have about 10 or 11 of the Noble Garden rabbits, which is really nice. I'm hoping to farm enough to get a couple mounts today, but I'm not going to be too worried about it if I don't, because I'm not as worried about the mounts as I am the pets. So I do believe that will be it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.